Here she is, my aunt, Adela, painted by Gustav Klimt.
That's quite a painting.
She was taken off the walls of our home by the Nazis. And since then, she's been hanging in
The Woman in Gold, starring Helen Mirren, was a film that highlighted maybe the best-known case of artwork stolen by the Nazis in World War II. Reversing the consequences of the looting policy of the Nazis has been called the unfinished business of the 20th century. And the lawyer involved in that particular case is coming to Tampa Museum of Art to talk about his experience in a special program. Joining me today with details is Museum Director Michael Tomar. Good morning.
Good morning.
So yeah, that movie, I think, really brought to light kind of the issues of what happened during World War II that I think a lot of people maybe didn't realize.
Yeah, I think that movie, Monument Men, I think that we're getting a little bit more information now about how much art is missing, how much art was stolen, and how much art really is still in the hands of other countries and other institutions and other individuals that really belong to families who are the descendants of those people who lost that as a result of the war.
And I think the answer to the amount is a lot. I mean,
Yes.
this is still, I mean, as we said, an unfinished project, essentially.
Yeah, it really is. And there are cases going on all around the world right now trying to determine the validity of the case, who really owns the artwork, what were the circumstances under which the artwork disappeared or was taken. It's a very complicated discussion point. That's why we want to bring this lawyer here to have this conversation with the community.
And there's kind of two events going on. One is for lawyers in particular that I think will really find fascinating, that actually can kind of further their education, essentially, right?
That's right. It's a program we're starting at the Museum of Art called Lawyers for the Arts. It's an opportunity to do professional development that deal with art issues for lawyers in the community and offering continuing legal education credits and ethics credits. That's one night on Monday, September 12th at the museum, and then on the 13th, we have kind of a modified presentation by the same lawyer to talk to the public in a presentation about this case. A little bit less detailed than we do for the lawyers, but something that then the public can better understand.
And why do you think this is, you know, because again, you talk about maybe the legal talk with it, maybe that'll go over some people's heads, but why is this important to figure out what happened, where this artwork belongs, who it belongs to?
Yeah, I think because art is so personal, and art has meaning to so many people on different levels. Sometimes it's about monetary value, but for the most part, art really is about something very sentimental. And in this particular case, this painting by Gustav Klimt was a portrait of Anne-Marie Bloch-Bauer. And this was the aunt of the woman who sued the Republic of Austria to get this portrait of her aunt back, something very sentimental to her that belonged in her home when she was growing up. So I think that's why it's so important, because art transcends the market. Really, it's part of somebody's life.
How do you think these cases, and maybe now that we're maybe further looking into these cases now, maybe more than ever before, how will that change the future of the art business and maybe, you know, the history of museums like yourself, where you have artwork, you know, that you may not know where its full roots go back to?
Well, you know, the Association of Art Museum Directors are very cognizant of this, and we try and do really, at great pains, good homework on provenance, who owned it, under what circumstances, is when. But many of our institutions are very old. They've been around for 100 to 125 years in some cases. Some of the works that were already in our collections fell into our collections at a time when, let's say, countries didn't have the works of art under patrimonial law, or that they were taken and then they kind of slipped through the cracks and ended up in collections unknowingly. It's our responsibility in the profession to make sure that we understand what we're collecting so that we're not doing any further damage to someone's life or someone else's collection or something that they loved.
Well, as we put the event info up again, what is it that you hope people take away from this? And you know, again, kind of encourage them to come out, why they should come out.
Well, I think for this in particular, because it's an exciting case, and these types of litigations about cultural asset restitution are ongoing. But I think more importantly, I think that people need to understand that art and law intersect at many times. And so this new program at the Tampa Museum of Art, Lawyers for the Arts, will help give the public a better understanding.
Yeah, and protect artists too. I know that's a passion of yours as well, that you really wanted to make sure was accessible here for local artists.
Absolutely, yeah. We want to make sure that artists understand what their rights are in copyright, in ownership, and make sure that they're not being taken advantage of. So,
you know, oftentimes they're the creative minds behind it, and maybe they don't take that extra step where they should because they just don't know. So this is an awesome thing that you guys are doing.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for being here this morning. Of course, we'll put more info on our website. We appreciate it.
I appreciate it too. Thank you.